Downsizing is the biggest lie currently being sold to retirees in Ontario. Everyone tells you it's about freedom, locking and leaving, and cashing out. But if you're sitting in a family home here in Guelph, Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge right now, you know it doesn't feel quite that simple. It feels like a mountain of stuff, a confusing real estate market, a series of financial friction costs that can eat up $50,000, $70,000 of your equity before you even move in. And today, I'm pulling back the curtain. We're going to talk about the brutal truths of downsizing in the Tri-Cities, including the one real estate market shift that actually makes this the best time in likely a decade to move, but only if you know where the trapdoors are. If you're looking for your next chapter without regret, stay with me. Here's truth number one: the maintenance trap and the buyer's math trap. And this is the one that hits long-term homeowners the hardest. You've deferred maintenance is a deal killer in 2026. When you live in, let's say, a 2,700 square foot home for decades, you develop a bit of a house blindness. You know, that furnace is coming on 20 years old, but it still turns on, so you figure it's fine. The roof is nearing the end of its life, but it isn't leaking, so you've put off $10,000 expense to replace it. These are things people who have lived in their home a long time often put off for the exact same reason: the expense. It's a heavy hit to take when you're planning for retirement. But here's the truth about the current buyer now in what we're dealing with. We are in a market where home prices remain high. For a standard, let's say $850,000 home, a buyer is coming up with 15% to 20% down payment. You know, that's $127,000 to $170,000 in cash they have to bring to the table. And by the time they pay their land transfer taxes and legal fees, they're completely cash poor. These buyers are buying a mortgage payment, not a renovation project. And they can often afford an extra $100 or $200 a month on their mortgage for a turnkey home that's already updated. But they don't have $8,000, $10,000 in liquid cash to replace your furnace or roof when they move in. So if your big ticket items are outdated, today's buyers will either walk away or hammer you on the price twice as hard as the repair actually costs. You know, they want peace of mind that their limited cash flow won't be hit with a capital expense in a year or two after moving in. Buyers want those big ticket items updated. And in my next chapter method, step 2 is always a plan of action. We look at the home through the eyes of a cash-strapped buyer. So you can decide, do we fix it now to get the top dollar, or do we price it for as-is reality? And here's truth number 2: logistics, storage, and the stuff anchor. This is about the logistics of moving, 20, 25, even 30 years of your life. First, we have to talk about the physical anchors. That, solid mahogany dining room set that you have, or the Royal Doll collection that was your mother's that she cherished, or your grandmother's sterling silverware that you never use. I know it's emotional, but these are often the items keeping you stuck in your home, keeping you from taking action. And what do you do with all the stuff? Well, to manage this, a lot of retirees budget for a moving truck and call it a day, but that's not how a successful downsize works in 2026. Many of my clients are now using a portable storage containers like pod style units to move stuff out while they are selling. And this makes a huge difference because this helps the house show better, but you have to budget for the cycle of costs. There is the drop-off fee, then the monthly rental fee while you sort through the memories. Then there's the pickup fee to take it to storage. And finally, you pay for the drop-off at your new condo or home. And finally, the pickup once you empty it all. It all adds up quickly, and it needs to be part of what I call friction cost math. And that brings me to the money. You'll hear American YouTubers talk about capital gains tax and ignore them. Here in Ontario, we have the principal residence exemption. That means your equity growth is your lottery win. It's really all tax-free. But don't let that distract you from what I call the Ontario friction costs. If you haven't moved in, let's say, 25 years, the math has likely changed for you. For example, real estate commissions expect roughly 5% of the sale price plus HST. Legal fees usually $1,500 to $2,500, and if you're buying and selling, they're easily $2,500. And the big one, land transfer tax. In Ontario, the buyer pays this. So when you buy that $600,000 condo, you're actually looking at roughly $9,000 just in transfer tax. And when you added all in the moving companies and minor repairs and updates, fees to get your family home market ready, you can easily spend a total of $60,000 to $70,000 just to facilitate your entire move. Prep, fees, movers, storage, repairs, the whole thing. The truth, downsizing isn't always cheaper month to month. You know, a $600 monthly condo fee in Guelph and Waterloo might feel like a lot, but remember, that covers your roof, your windows, your snow removal, and your security. It's not an extra cost, it's a prepaid maintenance plan. And it adds up fast. Between storage fees, insurance for your contents, and multiple transport legs, your moving budget can easily double. And that doesn't even include the stuff problem. And as I've said in my most popular video, no one wants your stuff, but getting rid of it properly costs time or money. Whether you're hiring a junk removal crew or spending weekends running to the landfill, donating it, or selling it on your own. Downsizing is a logistical marathon, not a sprint. If you're thinking about moving into a condo to simplify things, you need to be especially careful about these transitions. In fact, if you're looking at a condo route right specifically now, I recently did a video called Buying a Guelph Condo, Huge Mistakes to Avoid, that you should watch next, because the logistics of moving into a multi-unit building has its own set of rules, and I go through the top 8 in that video. So here's truth number 3. In 2026, the split market opportunity. Now, why 2026 is such a unique year for you to be watching this? Well, we are currently living through what I call a split market. This is when different types of properties move in completely opposite directions. And it's happening right here in Guelph and the Waterloo region. On one side, you have detached homes. Supply of new detached homes that are being built are at historic lows. We haven't seen building permits this low for single family homes since the 1980s. So that's like 40 years. Making your family home a more desirable asset to own right now. They simply aren't building as many due to the province's intensification plans and developer costs. Now, on the other side, we have the condo market. You know, in KW, Guelph, Cambridge areas, we have seen a massive wave of new completions. And with investor demand shifting, we have nearly 6 to 7 months of inventory in some areas. This split is your greatest financial opportunity. You're selling a more desirable, high demand asset and buying into a market with plenty of choice. With the right prep for your family home, you can demand a premium for it and negotiate like a pro on your new retirement residence. This, wealth gap is where my clients are finding extra hundreds of thousands of dollars that fund the next decade of their lives. It's happening now and will eventually change. When exactly, no one knows for sure at this point in time. And so here is truth number 4, the pros and cons. Let's do an audit of beyond the math and the maintenance. And we have to look at the daily reality. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Well, let's do a quick pros and cons audit of making this move. Here are the pros. Time wealth. You are buying back roughly 150 hours a year. That's 4 weeks of vacation time currently spent on yard work, snow removal, or house maintenance. So what would you do with a month of your life back? Big question. Think about it. The second one is predictability. In a condo or a smaller updated freehold, your monthly costs are pretty much capped. No more surprise $8,000 furnace, air conditioning bills from older, more dated home that is coming to an end for some big ticket items. And the third one is I call the hero move. By cashing out now, you aren't leaving your kids a house full of stuff and deferred maintenance. You're leaving them what first-time home buyers are looking for, or others who are looking to downsize. Your smaller home will always have demand. Now here's the cons, the real ones. What I call the box feeling. Moving from a family home to, let's say, 1,000 square foot condo is a shock. You will lose your hosting space if you love having 20 people over for Christmas. You have to realize that now you'll be booking that condo party room instead. The second one is the loss of control. You are moving from being the king or queen of the castle to being part of a collective. Buying a condo, you don't decide when the roof gets fixed, the board does. And the third one is the cost per square foot. Now, this is the one that bites. You might sell your Guelph home for, let's say, $350 a square foot and find yourself paying $600 a month maintenance fee for a modern condo in, let's say, uptown Waterloo. So you are trading quantity of space for quality of lifestyle. And truth number 5, the radius reality. Finally, where are you moving to? This is the big question people have to reckon with. Most people want to stay within 45 minutes of their grandkids, family, friends, which keeps them in the Waterloo region, which includes Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge, or right here in Guelph. So here's Kitchener is what I call the innovation pick. With light rail, the transformation of the downtown core, it's vibrant and urban. And Kitchener is seeing incredible growth right now. Waterloo is what I call the refined pick. It offers a prestige balance with beautiful established neighborhoods and a great uptown vibe for shopping and dining. And Cambridge is what I call the charm pick. The historic river views in Galt are unmatched in Ontario, I think, offering a slower, scenic pace of life while still being connected to the Tri-Cities. And Hespeler is close to the 401 and very desirable. And then there's Guelph, and I call it the community hub. It has a separate, distinct feel, focusing on sustainability and that classic Ontario market town atmosphere. The truth is, location is about your lifestyle. Do you want to be able to walk to a coffee shop or be near river trails? These are the things you have to consider. Downsizing is a strategic transition, not just a move. If you feel overwhelmed, that's exactly why I created Your Next Chapter 5-step method. I'll put that link right at the top of the description below. I'm Deirdre Dunn, and I'll see you in the next video.